Cyprianus was by all accounts a shady character. In her book Remedies and Rituals, Folk Medicine in Norway and the New Land, Kathleen Stocker writes that medieval Scandinavians spun tales of a Dane named Cyprianus who was so evil that Satan cast him out of hell. This act so enraged Cyprianus that he dedicated himself to writing the 9 books of the black arts that underlie all subsequent Scandinavian black books. Bizarrely, another tradition maintained that the true Cyprianus was a ravishingly beautiful, irresistibly seductive, prodigiously knowledgeable, pious Mexican nun, and yet another tradition traces the name back to Saint Cyprian of Antioch, a powerful Greek wizard who was famed as a demon summoner before converting to Christianity. Despite Cyprian's saintly later life, medieval authors appear to have been more interested in the demon part. Here's a 15th century French painting of Cyprian striking up a bargain with 2 devilish characters. For instance, what we know for sure is that Cyprian became a common pseudonym for people at the edges of society who were trying to do real black magic, and thus we find Pseudo-Cyprianus listed as the author of this jaw-dropping book of magical spells from the late 18th century, which the Wellcome Trust has just made public domain. The title is Clavis Inferni, the Key of Hell, and the images are magnificent and thrillingly mysterious.
You got it. Oops, there you go.
Maimon, a blackbird, as king of the south. Cyprianus, Clavis Inferni, late 18th century.
Really? So who is invoking the demon king of the south?
Uricus, a red-crowned and winged serpent, as king of the east. Cyprianus, Clavis Inferni.
Look at this. Isn't that what the Jews called Ein Safa? The God that's encompassing the universe? The number 8 turned on its side? That's making its way back to our universe? Or they show this thing encompassing the whole earth? I forget the title of the book, but the Cherokees have a book of Revelation. It's at the University of Michigan, out of all places. And it had a winged serpent in it. Kind of like the Aztecs, and I hope I don't get the thing wrong. Was it Quetzalcoatl? Look at this. Hold on.
Egan, a black bear-like animal with a short tail, as king of the north. Cyprianus, Clavis Inferni. Late 18th century.
I've seen the Moors bragging about this book.
Paimon, a black cat-like animal with horns, long whiskers and tail, as king of the west. Cyprianus. Clavis Inferni, late 18th century.
And I can't help but think about all those Native American flags where they have a circle and they split it up into 4 parts, right? And they have shaded one red, different colors, red, yellow, white, and blue, and stuff like that. Look, and isn't that Hebrew down there? Skull and crossbones. Oh, it's always starting there. Stop.
Ink and watercolor showing a red-winged dragon wearing a gold crown and devouring a lizard. Cyprianus. Clavis Inferni, late 18th century.
Let's see here.
The sword and branch in that last image, my favorite of the bunch, probably refer to the common iconography of God's twin powers to create destruction or peace. The Latin text reads Qui facies mirabilia magna solus finis coronat opus. I translate this to something like you who act alone with great miracles or miraculous things. The end shall crown the work. Beyond this type of basic iconographic reading, those looking for reliable answers about the origin or meaning of these images will be disappointed. The Wellcome Trust itself gives a description of the book that sounds like it's lifted verbatim from Harry Potter.
Let's see here.
Hoping to find out more, I posted about this bizarre text on my blog Res Obscura 3 years ago. And some knowledgeable fans of early modern magic came out of the woodwork to help me with translations. One pointed out to me that the cipher alphabet being used here is Cornelius Agrippa's Transitus Fluvi, passing through the river, script. Adapted from Hebrew by the famed occultist in 1510. Fun fact. It was also used in the Blair Witch Project.
Man.
A 17th century English translation of Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy. Wikimedia Commons. The book also uses actual Hebrew, such as in this gold leaf sigil. A challenge to readers. Can anyone translate this?
Doesn't it remind you of also like the Superman stuff with all the Kryptonian symbols?
For the most part, though, these images and writings reach the 21st century without context and without a key to unlock them. Their authors intended it that way. Only the elect, or those with direct knowledge passed down from a magical practitioner, were thought to be worthy of understanding books like this. Contemporary practitioners of magic might try to unlock them, and historians might successfully contextualize them, but in a very real way. These books will always be ciphers to us.
And I think we'll stop there. Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, but I'll leave this in the description box. I just thought it was interesting because, they're bragging about, them controlling how the Moors used to control all the big eights, the north, the south, and yada yada yada. You know how it goes.